I'm Leon Lovelace, and this is Unstoppable Force. I need you to go to my PayPal link. I'm going to put a link in the description box below. I'm going to start throwing it on here so you could go there and donate to my channel so I can expand it. But I got a news story for you guys, and it's from commondreams.org. It's about more voter suppressions going on, this time in Georgia. I'll start from the top. A new report uncovered yet another voter suppression tactic employed by Georgia's Republican Secretary of State Brian Kemp, who's also running for governor, which scrubbed more than 100,000 voters from the state's rolls. MP reports revealed Friday how, under the state's use it or lose it law, 107,000 residents were removed from voter lists in July 2017 simply because they had not voted in elections or made contact with the Board of Elections over the previous 3 years. The race between Abrams and Kemp is close, with Kemp leading by 2 points in recent polls. Could be decided by just a few thousand votes. AMP reports detailed the voter purge following numerous reports in recent months about other cases of widespread voter suppression in Georgia, frequently in majority black counties, affecting tens of thousands of African American voters, ahead of a close election in which the state could elect Democrat Stacey Abrams as the country's first black female governor. And then it talks about elderly black voters are forced off a bus because of some bullshit, so not sure why that fucking happened, but that's an outrage right there. And then here's another section right here about 53,000 voters also eliminated from voter rolls because of another voter suppression Georgia law. About how voter registration forms must match state-issued IDs. And of course, most of those people are black. So this is important because I really want to emphasize to the viewers that the GOP likes to spew a whole bunch of nonsense and fucking bullshit, just really about how, oh, we got to worry about voter fraud and how some voters are going in and voting twice, and that's such a fucking disparaging thing that they could do, and how they're just wreaking havoc on our election system, and that shit must be fucking stopped. There's no fucking way that some person should be voting twice. And they get a whole bunch of people riled up about it. But when you look at the stats, out of millions and millions of people voting, every now and then one person tries to vote for twice. And when they do, they get fucking arrested. So it's just fucking bullshit, and it's lies that you have to worry about voter fraud. What they keep, or I should say, the reason why they keep doing that shit is because while they're getting people riled up about voter fraud, they're actually committing election fraud and stealing elections by doing shit like illegally or unethically or unconstitutionally kicking people off voter rolls. Not to mention that many people do not vote in the first place. So in a way, it seems like people should actually vote because there's a reason why they're trying to kick your ass off voting rolls. Well, if you're black. If you're a white guy or a white woman, you're probably good to go. But if you're a minority, they're trying to force you off of the voter rolls. So it might actually help a little bit to go vote. But and I'm a little confused on why their GOP is trying so hard, because the Democrats, they're going to do the same old bullshit of cutting taxes on the wealthy and the corporations anyway, and doing some kind of deregulation for these businesses. And so the policy is pretty much the same. So I don't really see why GOP are these so blatant assholes and blatant knuckle draggers and just horrible, being such horrible legislators. Because that shit does not really benefit anybody but them fucking selves. And if you're if you're a Republican voter, the GOP doing this does not benefit your life at all. Unless you're a wealthy asshole. Well, a wealthy white guy. Because while they're doing all these different laws and creating or changing all these laws to make sure people can't vote, Guess what they're not making their focus on? They're not making sure you have quality health care, period, i.e. they're not trying to give you single payer health care at all. A lot of times they're trying to dismantle what kind of semblance of decent healthcare we do have right now, and plenty of people don't have it. They're trying to create more roadblocks for the government to provide any other social programs that need to be provided, like affordable housing for poor and working class people. They're not trying to put any more money into the education system so poor and working class kids have a better education. Not trying to put education or put money into higher education so all the adults and the young people that want to go and get degrees so they could get a better income, or just to get a quality education past our kind of average K through 12 grade school education. They're not trying to put money into that at all. They're not trying to put any money into creating jobs programs so poor working class people could have a good paying job from the government and have a bunch of benefits that they need to make sure they can provide all the just necessary things they need for them and their families. They're not trying to end any of these fucking wars, so we're not creating a bunch of death and destruction all across the world just to profit a few people and some of these big corporations. So while they're doing all this shit, they're ignoring your fucking needs. They're ignoring my needs, whether you're in my political sandbox or you're not. They're making sure they're fucking your ass over. Not to mention that it's unconstitutional. So for all you guys that talk about how you love the Constitution yet you're for this shit, you're a fucking hypocrite. And so are they for doing all this stupid ass shit. But I guess they were also doing other cuts to voter rolls, because this really should have been the headline for this article for other news sites that were talking about this too, is that even by Georgia standards, the voter purge of late July 2017 was remarkable. In a single day, more than 500,000 people, 8% of Georgia's registered voters, were cut from the voter rolls. So they said to 500,000 people, they said, fuck you, we're going to make sure you can't vote, because we're going to steal this fucking election and make sure we get in, or our choice candidates are going to win, and you're not going to have a fucking say in it, because we have the fucking power. And what little political power you have, we're going to strip it away from you or your neighbor, because fuck it, that's what we do. So maybe as progressive, when we finally get into power, maybe we should talk about stripping rich assholes off these voter rolls and say, you know what, all these wealthy Republicans have been for stripping all this power away from poor black people and poor brown people. Maybe we need to take some political power away from all these wealthy white people. Cause I mean, just trying to, so far it seems like just saying, hey, quit stripping our political power away from us isn't enough. So maybe we need to fucking play hardball, start stripping some power away from some wealthy white people.